Fortnite has recently added the suppressed assault rifle back into the game at Chapter 3, Season 3. So today we're going to be looking over some of the stats that gun has to offer, how is it best used, and some other cool trivia about the gun. So starting off with the suppressed assault rifle, something we have to consider right off the bat is that with the suppressor, it will not show up on the compass that you're shooting to your opponent. So no red dot will come up, which is a huge plus. The other benefit by having the suppressor on the gun is also the fact that sound won't travel as far. So even with a really good headset, there's going to be a certain distance away that your opponent is still not going to be able to hear that gun being shot, which makes you less of a target. But the biggest downside by having the suppressor is the fact that because of that noise reduction, it's also going to have a very quick drop off rate with the gun. But this gun also has more features than just the suppressor. It's made mostly for medium to even short range gunfights. It's a fast shooting gun that has actually a very powerful damage as well as the high fire rate. And being able to sneak up on your opponent with this gun is the key to winning the gunfight. You can get long distance gunfights with it, but it's not recommended because of the suppressor dropping off that damage range so quickly. Another key thing to take into account with this gun is that it's a hit scan, which basically means the first shot accuracy is enabled. To clarify that even more, when you aim in with a hit scan gun, you're more than likely going to hit that first shot versus a gun that's not hit scan. This also means that the gun, as soon as you pull the trigger, has no travel time. So as soon as you shoot the gun, it will instantly be hitting your target. Everybody should know this by now, but because it's an assault rifle, it does take medium bullets. The similarities between all the rarities between this gun are going to be your magazine size, your fire rate, what bullets it takes, and the draw speed, and also your headshot multiplier. Those are all things that are going to remain the same no matter what version of this gun that you have. So starting off with how long it takes to ADS with the gun, which is aim down sights, you're going to be looking at 250 milliseconds, which would be just a quarter of a full second, with the gun having a headshot multiplier of 1.5 times. So whatever base damage it will do, times that by 1.5 and you will get that number. The other thing that doesn't change is going to be your fire rate at 5.5 and the magazine size at 30. Other than that, everything else between the rarities from rare, epic to legendary all changes from your damage per second, damage per shot, and the reload time. Starting off with the rare version of this gun, because there's no common or uncommon version that can be found on the ground, we have to go straight to the rare version of this gun. We're going to look at the damage per second at 165 with a grand total damage of 30 to the body. Now, like previously stated, with a headshot multiplier of 1.5 times, we can take into account that this headshot with the rare version of the suppressed assault rifle is actually going to be 45. The reload time is going to be 2.3 seconds. Going into the epic version of the suppressed assault rifle, we're going to be looking at an overall damage per second of 176 and a damage to the body at 32. With a headshot multiplier taking into effect, we're going to be looking at a grand total of 48 damage to the head and a reload time at 2.2 seconds. Going into the legendary version, we're going to see actually a less increase between the epic and the legendary versus the rare and the epic, which is usually pretty consistent between all guns. The jump only goes from 176 to 181.5 in the legendary version of the suppressed assault rifle, meaning that the damage to the body is only going to be 33 per shot, with a headshot multiplier being the 1.5 times that it is, will only make the headshots come out to 49.5. Still, you'll nearly be able to break the overdrive shield in one headshot. Also, the reload time gets slightly decreased as well to 2.1 seconds. So even its best version is still not a flat 2 seconds. So make sure when you're reloading this gun, you have a little bit of time because it's going to take longer than an SMG. Previously, I stated that the damage fall off is very quick with the suppressor being on this assault rifle. The actual fall off damage begins at 50 meters, otherwise known as 10 tiles. The damage steadily decreases down to 80% of its maximum at 75 meters, which would be 15 tiles. So, to take that in consideration, if we were to look at the rare version of this gun at 30 body damage per shot, and we're at a grand total of 75 meters away from our opponent trying to hit a body shot, we're only going to be doing 80% of that 30, which would put us at 24 damage per body shot. And it's something you have to consider because this gun is made for short to medium range, not the long range gunfights. The other thing that you have to take into account too is the damage reaches its minimum value of 66 at 95 meters, which would be 19 tiles. Which means at its farthest point of range, the gun will actually drop down of a body shot with the rare version that was supposed to be 30. At 95 meters out, you will only be hitting body shots of 19.8. That's a significant drop in damage that could hinder you from being able to get the kill on your opponent from long range. So make sure you're only using this gun again in short to medium distances. A suppressor will be very hard to win gunfights at long range. It's not impossible, just a lot harder. Something else that's really important to know about this gun though is even though you're more than likely going to hit the first shot because of the hit scan feature that is built into this gun, it does have great accuracy at the beginning, but after your first 7 shots, the gun actually starts to become one of the least accurate guns within the game. So you want to be making sure that at least those first 7 shots are hitting the target. That suppressor will actually be making whatever version of that weapon that you have a grade below if it was without the suppressor. Some cool trivia about the suppressed assault rifle is that it's actually based off the Belgian-American FN SCAR-L. The reason it doesn't go to its lower tiers, such as uncommon and common, is because of the suppressor being so weak to the gun. So that's why Epic Games has only kept this gun for rare, epic, and legendary variants. How do you feel about the suppressed assault rifle in Fortnite Chapter 3 Season 3 at this current state? It probably won't be around for long, so if you're a huge fan of the weapon just in general, be sure to utilize it as much as possible. Otherwise, it's kind of guaranteed to be a low tier weapon. Unless you can get the legendary version and hit a headshot, you could be breaking the overdrive shield with just that one shot. Well, that was nutty on his part. I don't know what he was thinking. We're gonna have to pick up there. Possibly not. God. He's up there then. Interesting final circle. Moved when I had my... Oh, he did. Interesting. As long as he doesn't see me. Let's go, baby!